Doesn't mean that Hillary would have been a good choice either. She was a terrible choice. She's a corrupt politician, one of the most unlikable people that's ever run for office. They were trying to get people to be supporting her just because she's a woman. This is going to be her history. Women, ladies, I stand with her. So there's all these women that have this blind allegiance towards this career politician, completely full of shit. She's been full of shit forever. But meanwhile, just a puppet of banks, and those people make shit piles of money from speeches, and there's major problems with the Clinton Foundation. It's not even around anymore. It's a dark legion. And meanwhile, she's doing all this Me Too talk. Her husband's a goddamn predator.
Yeah.
He's been a predator forever.
Yeah.
She said that Monica Lewinsky was a grown woman and it wasn't an abuse of power. Get the fuck out of here.
How old is Monica?
Joe Rogan arrived with a verbal sledgehammer and no tolerance for revisionist fairy tales, despite Hillary Clinton's attempts to rewrite her political record. Rogan did more than simply criticize Hillary, from her email ordeal to her enchanted blame-shifting tour. He set the entire circus on fire. It's a demolition, not a roast. This attack cuts through spin, like a hot mic on live television. It's incisive, brutal, and unrelentingly amusing. Hillary desired a round of applause. She received Rogan with fury and facts.
He is, and he's actually still kind of good looking. Like, even for an older dude. Yeah, why not? He's still so good looking, and she's just so miserable.
She was publicly humiliated, and she thought that her big retribution would become president.
I'm running for president, and I'm in it to win it.
You know, become president.
Sure.
And then that would be it. All water under the bridge. I'm a strong woman. I'm running this country. And then
somehow Hillary Clinton still manages to walk through political scandals like she's on a red carpet, heels high, grin locked, and a trail of deleted emails fluttering behind her like confetti. Joe Rogan does more than simply make fun of her. He uses the sharpest weapons in the shop to skewer her entire political life. It's also not a precise job. Decades of political theater are completely destroyed, with the same lead actress demanding a standing ovation while repeatedly missing her lines. In any case,
infuriated when people that I knew that I was friends with were trying to tell me that Hillary Clinton was a good choice. And that's the same choice. I'm like, look, I don't know if she's murdered people, but I know that I worry that she's murdered people. That's a real, I really wonder. Like this Seth Rich.
I know. First of all, just leave. You don't even need to go there. You know,
there's so many other things.
There's so many other things that we know for a fact.
The Clinton Foundation, for instance.
So,
if you like this video, please hit the bell symbol and subscribe to the channel. Rogan attacks Hillary's ability to reinvent herself, pointing out that she has done so more times than a software startup with no clients. She is a champion for women's rights one moment, and then she accepts payments from governments where these rights are considered myths. She somehow manages to be both a feminist icon and a foreign policy vacillator in one sentence. Hillary's profile would rank highly on a LinkedIn page dedicated to hypocrisy, with accolades from both perplexity and irony.
Say that after she just got done Gaddafi and then laughed about it.
We came, we saw, he died.
We came, we saw, he died. The fact that any human being would ever do that. By the way he died, that's some...
Joe doesn't hold back when pointing out the unsettling reality that Hillary's political career has been nothing more than a protracted tryout for a part that the electorate never desired. America repeatedly showed up at the Emmys demanding acknowledgement, as if she had sat through the pilot, detested it, and canceled the show. Either dedication or delusion characterizes the unwavering determination to try repeatedly without altering a single story detail. Most likely both. Both, of course.
The thing was, he was packing stadiums.
Yeah.
She couldn't even fill a fucking high school gymnasium.
Right. She was pulling all the strings, and she had all the favors that she was pulling in, and she had a shit ton of money behind her, and they were completely arrogant, and all the liberal elite in the media thought there was no chance that she was going to lose. She's 95% shoe-in to win the presidency, and she walked around like she was 95%.
She already thought she won.
Then there's the email drama, though. Hillary's treatment of a government server as though it were her personal Pinterest board is the one story that simply won't go away. Rogan dives right in like a self-written stand-up routine because it works. For convenience, she set up a private email server, but in the end, she created a digital monument to bad choices. A Nigerian prince is still envious of her email setup somewhere. She played the victim throughout it all, though, as if she were the lead in the off-Broadway melodrama Accountability is sexist forever.
If you watch the conversation between James Comey, when James Comey testified about what he did and what they found with the Hillary Clinton emails, and then her version of it, she's just a straight liar.
Yeah.
She deleted 33,000 emails.
How the do you do that? And then
even worse than that, when they rigged the DNC, they rigged the primaries so that Bernie Sanders was going to lose. She had her people into the DNC.
Easily transitioned to the Clinton Foundation, the family organization that manages to be a political platform, a charity, and a mysterious source of income. Influence pours out, money rushes in, and what transpires in the midst is unknown. A priest and a decoder ring are likely needed to complete the foundation's tax forms. Rogan gives a vivid image. It isn't a public function. The donation button is part of the public relations campaign. Then comes the most well-known faceplant in contemporary politics, the 2016 election. Hillary failed despite having a parade of confetti, the media, contributors, former presidents, celebrities, and more. The ridiculousness of a billion-dollar campaign that was so robotic that it made vending machines seem relatable is virtually danced through by Joe. She wears the same face whether she is discussing foreign donations, real estate transactions from decades ago, or oddly timed remarks to Wall Street executives. Part surprise, part bewilderment, and completely prepared. It's similar to watching a character in a soap opera who has now discovered that they are the antagonist after being gaslight for 6 seasons.
One of my favorite clips is Hillary Clinton when she was running 2012. She was more MAGA than MAGA.
So I think we got to have tough conditions. Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked. They're gone. If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes. And you have to try to learn English. And you have to wait in line.
You have to wait in line. That's so...
Nor does Joe Rogan overlook Benghazi. That foreign policy fiasco became into a catchphrase for incapacity. There was more to the story than sorrow. It concerned the ridiculous measures used by Hillary and her administration to deny any responsibility. She was wearing a bullseye, and accountability was evaded like it was a dodgeball competition. Her approach seems to be to deny, divert, distract, and then write a book about how misunderstood she is. Rogan notes, in relation to books, Hillary's post-loss memoir is a wealth of self-importance and diversion. Joe analyzes it as though it were a strange fanfiction in which the author portrays both the misunderstood genius and the hero. Each chapter reads as though she is having therapy with herself, but she interrupts the therapist to point the finger at misogyny, the media, and James Comey. Joe does a fantastic job painting the scene. Hillary has the vitality of a broken hologram when she takes the stage, and her speeches are so well choreographed that they would make a Broadway choreographer blush. She doesn't use the word spontaneity. Talking points are exchanged for relatability. She somehow turns inspiration into a caution by speaking to them as though she were reading them a user manual.
I was getting shot at. It's like, I can't imagine, I was just talking about lack of empathy. I can't imagine being in a situation where I'm on television and I'm saying things that are so removed from the truth.
Right.
Like, I can't wrap my head around that.
Well, Hillary did the same thing.
Well, she's a congenital liar, as she was referred to by the New York Times back in the day. But,
and rightly so, but people forget this. She did talk about a firefight that she was involved in.
I was under sniper fire, and the worst thing about that people didn't give a shit about, she said when she was in Bosnia, she was under sniper fire. It's like, wait a minute, You're throwing the Secret Service under the bus. Because what?
In actuality, Rogan draws on her lack of technological literacy, which is all the more horrifying when you consider that she oversaw national cyber policy. It's like seeing your grandmother attempt to TikTok when you watch Hillary use technology. Confusion, buttons, and the disappearance of the email. Vitality. Once she thought that wiping a server was the same as using a cloth. There's no joke in it. It's comic gold cloaked in a national security issue. Her self-appointed position as the face of development follows. Hillary pretends to have invented political grace, equality, and feminism. In the meantime, her history is a litany of concessions, inconsistencies, and expedient coalitions. Joe doesn't miss. He criticizes her for backing laws that harm the very communities she subsequently professed to promote. Joe drives home the point. Hillary twisted her marriage into a romance story, ghost-written by denial, and used it as a weapon when it was convenient for her. Depending on the situation and the audience, she took on the roles of the devoted wife, the fiery independent, and the backstage strategist. There was never simply a couple among the Clintons. They were a brand, a convoluted, scandal-plagued brand that had more spin than an earthquake-damaged washing machine. Joe explores Hillary's remarkable talent at using every failure as a springboard. Lessons, failed policies, harsh criticism, and evidence of her genius. Hillary could still claim it was a power move even if she stumbled over her own story. She is the only one who can simultaneously keep eye contact with a lobbyist and a camera while simultaneously asserting victimhood and leadership.
And she just basically did a double talk around that. But she's got a lot of whoppers in her name. She said she was named after Edmund Hillary, even though he climbed Mount Everest after she was born. So she's amazing. I love that woman. I love her so much. She's the funniest person on earth.
She's a scary lady.
She's like a slinky. She's always falling down the stairs.
Ah!
Yeah, she's the human slinky.
How dare you?
Yeah.
It's an odd duck. It's one of those things where women want a woman to be president so bad. They want one for the team so bad. And then there's so many people from the left that think she has the best.
Then there's her social media presence, which is more uncomfortable in turn enthusiasm with a touch of distant superiority than relatable millennial energy. Joe doesn't mince words. It's like seeing a slow-motion automobile collide with a thesaurus when Hillary tweets. Although every post makes a concerted effort to be culturally sensitive, it ultimately sounds like a PDA newsletter masquerading as woke. She uses forced hashtags. Her presence appeared to be the result of someone searching for hip internet moment on Google in 2012 without ever updating their browser. And her memes are out of date. Hillary's remarkable ability to insinuate herself into every political discussion concludes Joe's roast. She is like the unmissable political advertisement in America, whether or not she is invited. Always present, always smiling, always offering herself as the answer to the issue she caused. Hillary will find a camera, tilt her head just so, and claim that she warned us whether it's 2024, 2028, or the end of the world. She is the specter of a previous campaign, prowling about college lecture halls and CNN studios like a nomadic public relations ghost. And don't worry, this roast is far from over as Hillary glides off to her next self-congratulatory symposium. The story of spin, obfuscation, and erased emails is just waiting for its next joke.
One of the things I always point out, like people want to talk progressive, you want to talk, being left wing, and she didn't even believe in gay marriage until 2013.
The best part was she was on NPR, which is this far right fringe organization, right? NPR, Terry Gross, and Terry Gross says, you used to be against gay marriage. Your husband passed DOMA, which made it a federal law that gay marriage won't be recognized by the federal government. And you changed your position. Like, how did that happen? Was it because Americans became... And Hillary's like, well, America changed their point of view. She goes, no, I understand Americans changed their point of view. What was your mental process? And she goes, no, Terry, you're saying that I changed my mind for political purposes, and that's not true. And she starts yelling at her, and it's like, holy shit, you're on NPR, and you think they're too right-wing for you because they're calling you out on your bullshit. You
And just when you thought Hillary's story couldn't get any more ridiculous, along comes the continuous political cosplay masterclass known as the Post 2016 Reinvention Tour. She can be a masterclass instructor one week, a podcast host the next, and the oracle of democracy sometime in between. It's similar to witnessing someone apply to teach the course after failing the final exam. As if public memory had the attention span of a goldfish on espresso, she is so intent on rewriting her legacy with glitter and revisionist dazzle. Joe Rogan cut through the illusion without even needing to shift gears. As Hillary attempted to reinvent herself as the queen of comebacks, he saw right through that charade. After losing to a man who swore like a sitcom uncle at Thanksgiving dinner, she had the incredible gall to position herself as the last line of defense against tyranny.
Clinton has a very weird and I think shitty marriage. I don't think she has a husband who is in love with her or faithful to her. And I think I can't really blame him because she seems to have accepted this behavior since the inception of their marriage. And so past his prologue, you're going to get what you tolerate. You know, what you permit, you promote. She spent all of her daughter's upbringing away.
Joe didn't merely make fun of her shortcomings. He emphasized the tone deafness of her legacy tour. It was similar to seeing the Titanic sink again. This time, however, the captain maintains that Russian meddling caused the iceberg. She reappeared with a louder voice, as if she had misjudged the situation and doubled down on karaoke at a funeral, but she was neither wiser nor more modest. The relentless fixation on relevance is the icing on the cake. She's incredibly dedicated to telling everyone that she came close to winning, even if she lost. Every one of her hot takes ages like dairy in the sun, and she has more hot takes than wins. Hillary continues to make the most out of her greatest failures while the rest of the political establishment attempts to change, or at least seem to be self-aware. Therefore, there was no need for theatrics when Rogan dropped his verbal grenade. Already, the facts were made into jokes. The contradictions were self-evident. That awkward group effort, where one individual believes they did all the work, has become Hillary's public career. The Clinton image reboot suddenly had a major system crash. Just the blue screen of political death. No recovery, no update. And that's only the beginning.